Congressman, I want to be fair about this, and my fiance and I had this conversation last night over dinner. Really, if there had been wildfire mitigation, somehow this fire wouldn't have happened and all these houses would be standing. If there hadn't been DEI at the Los Angeles Fire Department, there would have been strike teams and we would have only lost a house or two? Can we really say that?
No, the Santa Ana winds produce wildfires practically every year. This is how nature gardens. Back in the before the 20th century, California lost about 4.5 million acres a year to catastrophic fire. But then we decided to do some gardening. We established land management agencies that removed excess timber so that the forests were resilient and strong. We did a lot of grazing that kept brush down to a minimum in Southern California. I remember growing up in Thousand Oaks. Thousands of head of sheep would be constantly grazing the Santa Monica Mountains. Environmental policies starting in the 1970s changed that. The land management policies that we had adopted prior to that had brought our catastrophic fire loss from about 4.5 million acres a year down to just 250,000. Well, in 2020, it was back up to 4.5 million again. Now, that's not a new normal. That is the old normal coming back because we stopped the policies that actually worked.
Well, fair enough. You have the data to support it. I made the point to Rachel that it's not one of these things. It's the multiple policies. It's the water policy, the land mitigation, wildfire mitigation. It's the DEI policies. It's the leadership. It's the money for homelessness. It's everything at all. There's going to need to be hundreds of billions of dollars spent to rebuild Los Angeles, certainly to help the folks right now. Number of Republicans are talking about conditioning aid to California on changing some of these policies. Take a listen.
It appears to us that state and local leaders were derelict in their duty in many respects. So that's something that has to be factored in. I think there should probably be conditions on that, Dave. That's my personal view. We'll see what the consensus is.
You know, I certainly wouldn't vote for anything unless we see dramatic change in how they're going to be handling these things in the future.
We can't just dump money into a broken system, a poorly managed system, which California absolutely is across the board.
You've made a compelling argument for why the policies in California need to change. But if you start conditioning disaster aid as Republicans, do you not worry that when Democrats are in control and there's a hurricane in Florida, suddenly, in order to get disaster aid for a hurricane in Florida, Florida needs to change its laws on building near the beach or on endangered species? This is a dangerous road to go down, isn't it?
Well, I'm not so sure. There's an old saying that you can't fill a broken bucket by pouring more water in it. At some point, you've got to fix the bucket. And this is not the first time in recent years that we've seen this catastrophe. You remember in 2018, the Camp Fire destroyed the entire town of Paradise. 18,000 structures burned, 87 people killed. But nobody famous lives in Paradise, so nobody paid much attention to it. This sort of thing is the direct result of bad public policy, and those policies have got to be changed, or we're going to repeat this tragedy over and over again every few years.
You've made compelling arguments. I want to give you just the last 30 seconds. In fact, I don't have 30 seconds. I'm stealing it from my producers. On North Carolina, there are thousands of people who are reportedly being kicked out of hotels, who lost everything in the floods there just 3 months ago. Why the double standard between how people in California are being treated, carte blanche, versus North Carolina that seems to be forgotten?
Well, because you can minimize the damage caused by catastrophic fire by restoring the policies that had kept that damage to a minimum throughout the 20th century. This can be fixed. It's a public policy question.
Fair enough. Congressman, put you through the paces. You came with facts, evidence, and a compelling argument for this. We appreciate it. You're welcome back anytime, sir.
Thank you, Leland. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.